Hello and welcome to this edition of Minstrels on the Block, where we bring you the finest singer-songwriters in the Valley area. This week's special guests are Heather Gevonovich and Brendan Diaz, also known as Diaz and Gevonovich. What's up, Brendan? How you doing? Good to have you back on again. Heather?
Hello.
Thanks for being on the show. So, starting with you, Brendan, tell me about yourself. We've done this before, but It's been a while. Where were you born?
I was born in Columbus, Georgia.
Cool.
Doing music here the past 5 years or so. Just working musician.
And what did your parents do?
Father is still with Mercedes-Benz, plus 20 years, and then my mother is an elementary school teacher.
Cool. Heather, your turn.
Interesting. So I was born in Nebraska, raised in Pennsylvania.
Cool.
My father is a consultant in the healthcare industry. My mother is a nutritionist. I've been doing music since, I was 12 years old. Started in Pennsylvania and just started here about a year ago.
Cool. So what took you from Nebraska to Pennsylvania to here?
Well, I think the migration to Pennsylvania was my parents really wanting to get us into a different area of the country in a school district. And then 9/11 happened. And that's how I ended up in Georgia.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had a band and was real heavy in the music scene in Philadelphia when 9/11 happened and decided to leave it all behind and come here.
So Brandon, were your parents musical at all?
Father is a music major, pianist and vocalist for the Cantus Columbus Choir. And then my mother has musicians all through her family.
Wow.
Her mother was a piano instructor. So there's always been music in the house. Yeah.
It's in the blood. So is that what tweaked your interest at a young age? Like the first spark that said music? Did you get it from them?
I'm not sure. I've said in the past that I started as a violinist and that I was inspired by just film score and Lord of the Rings and that kind of stuff. But I don't know at what point it was I want to do music at all. I don't know when that happened.
Yeah.
It's just sort of
was there. Heather, were your parents musical?
My mother's side is very much so in the gospel arena in Nebraska. They're still over there. So my grandfather, he plays the piano classically. He's 87, still plays every day. Uncles are singers and pastors in churches. My father, completely tone deaf, but absolutely loves Hendrix. So yeah, on my mom's side, not on my dad's side.
So I'm guessing that one question has been answered, which is name some of your early influences in music, because everybody grew up listening to something, and like it or not, it's going to influence you to a certain extent when you get into music. So what were some of your early influences?
Definitely Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, Rush, Heart, Rufus, Shaka Khan.
Diversity. I like that.
I remember my father saying, playing "Tell Me Something Good" by Rufus, and when I was a young girl saying, "If you can't sing like this, just don't even bother." So, it was definitely a rock influence.
Excuse me while I kiss the sky. So, Brandon, what were some of yours?
Not so much rock. More so Sting and Seal and musicians like that.
Can't go wrong.
And it's been, it's felt really good to be able to explore that kind of music again with this project.
Very cool. Now, Heather, tell me about, from being a kid growing up and having your influences, what sparked you wanting to play music?
I realized that I had a voice probably, around 12, and then just, I guess, the ability to express myself with my voice. I really appreciated that, and then writing was just a step further. I had a really good range at a young age.
Right.
So I trained formally from probably age 12 to 18. So that's where that came from.
And what started you writing?
Just getting in bands. At a very young age, it was cover bands, and then it was like, well, you know what? I really kind of want to write my own stuff. I have some ideas in my head, and then I kept coming up with hooks or melody lines, and that's kind of that was all she wrote. So,
Brendan, same question.
What made me write music?
No, well, yeah. What? Well, we already talked about what sparked the music. Yeah. What got you into writing?
Again, it was early in school, being around other musicians in the orchestras and in the marching bands that were just, hey, I play bass guitar. Let's go play, and we'd play Green Day,
Nice.
American Idiot, that kind of stuff, and from there it was, well, why don't we try? And it was awful.
it always is in the beginning.
It was awful.
It always
But it progressed, and it was a lot of fun to work through it. It was like a puzzle.
Yeah.
Everything had to fit. The lyrics had to make sense. Everything. So I enjoyed the going at it like it was a puzzle.
Now tell me the progression between getting that initial spark and getting to a point where you were playing in bands. How did you make that step?
It was really almost overnight. The first band I played in, and it was not something serious. It was just, I have a guitar at home.
Yeah. Well, that's how it starts.
Just a bunch of kids coming over, making noise in the garage, and didn't even have a mic stand. I remember taking the microphone and hanging it from the garage door rails. So it was just swinging. I remember doing that, and it really was. It was a lot of fun.
So Heather, how was your migration from the indie the onesie thing into playing with a band? You had a voice, and then what was the progression?
I was introduced into some bands from the studio that I trained at. The coach would often partner singers with bands they would call, in that area in Philadelphia. So that was how that started, and then of course you meet more and more band members and kind of change them all out. So yeah, that's how that happened.
Now, 2 more questions before we go check out some Diaz and Gevonovich song. I like that, Rusty. Now, what kept you in it? Because obviously there's the obvious answer of this is fun and I really like doing it. So let me keep doing it. But what for you personally, from starting out to being in music, kept you in music?
That's an interesting question, because I completely stopped for about 8 years after 9/11 happened. Right before 9/11, I had a great band, a management deal, and when it happened, I walked away from it all and just let it rest. It was almost too much. It was too emotional. Right. So I decided to focus on my career and other things. And then just last year, started playing with some folks, and it was just, again, that was all she wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just the emotion of it. And again, it's a puzzle. It's like a science, There's a structure, but there's an emotion, there's lyrics, and you have to make it all fit together. Yeah. So it is somewhat scientific, which is interesting and analytical. So
John Phillips said children that study music in school do better in all manner of things. So that's like the science and the puzzle aspect of it. Thank you, John, for that information. And Brandon, what has kept you in it?
Starting out just playing for fun, it really grew quickly, and I figured out this is what I'm good at. Yeah. And then as I got older, and my friends are, I'm going to school to be a doctor. Yeah. I'm going to be an engineer. Well, that was still the only thing I knew really, really well. Yeah. So this is what I know best. This is what I need to do. This is what I need to focus on.
If you're a musician, that is what you need to do. That will tie into the last question of the show. Now, this is the question that rocks mountains and causes earthquakes and fights and all kinds of stuff.
Right.
Heather, Elvis or the Beatles?
Oh, wow. Elvis, for sure.
Elvis?
Yeah.
Why particularly?
Stage presence.
Stage presence. He definitely had stage presence. Thank you very much. And
again, Elvis.
We've been getting a lot of Elvis again. I'll tell you what, right now, let's get some Diaz and Gevonovich, and we'll be right back after this.
We are Diaz and Gevonovich, and the song is called Say Anything, our newest song, and currently recording. too close, you push too far, you do anything to tear us apart. You lie, you try to fight the light I have inside. I don't wanna say anything at all. I don't wanna say anything at all. I don't wanna say anything at all. I don't say anything at all. I don't wanna hear. I don't wanna feel. Lay away. You exhale and turn away. There's no promise I can make, save one that's forever. I'll stay. Whoa. You lie, you try to fight the lies I have inside. I don't wanna say anything at all. 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 I don't wanna hear. I don't wanna hear. I don't wanna hear. I don't wanna
Hello and welcome back to this edition of Minstrels on the Block. Special guest, Diaz and Gevonovich. So, this is the part where we talk about what you have going on now, but let's lead up to it. Heather, let's start with you. Okay, obviously you two have a musical endeavor going on. So what led up to it?
How did it start? How did we get together?
Well, leading up to where you are now, because you may have other things going on too. We'd like to talk about whatever you have going on.
Okay. Do you want to take this question?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, right now we're actually working on an album, so we pretty much have it written. Next steps are recording. We're getting some exposure in Atlanta and Sonoya, doing some open mic nights, and reaching out to some other musicians to help us with the album. But ultimately, it will stay Diaz and Gevonovich.
Right.
Just bring musicians in and out, and then we'll be working with J.T. Smith, who is a producer here in Columbus. He's from South Carolina. He's recently relocated, so we're excited about that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, how did you two come together as a band or as musically?
Well, we were both lead singers in our own bands, and we played Bikes on Broadway together.
Oh, okay.
And you know that night we all went out. We had fun at, I think, B-Dubs.
Yeah.
And we really didn't say much, but she contacted me later about just the local music scene and wanted to talk about it. And so we met for coffee one day, and it was just exciting to you know, somebody else who saw what Columbus and you know, really what it could be.
Right.
And it started more as an endeavor to uplift things, to get it to the status we knew it could be.
Right.
And then, you know, from there, it really wasn't intentional. You know, we were musically. We were obviously, you know, we were together. We were seeing each other, and we made a rule. We said we're not going to do music together because it's just going to cause problems. And we, you know, but we played one song.
Yeah, it was just one.
And
that was it.
And that's a thing I want to get into is how when you started working together, when the music came together, what was it that you feel worked that made your project something that you wanted to put time and effort into?
It was the sound that we were able to come up with. Our voices together, they were perfectly in sync. The melodies, they came, and the harmonies, it came easily. It wasn't difficult, and it was fun.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, it's fun.
So now, your project that you have going on now, do you do originals, covers? How's that? Do you write together?
Absolutely. Often it's not me writing or her writing. It's we sit down together.
Right.
And I'll play, and she'll just start singing, and it's brilliant immediately.
Wow.
Or, you know, a melody line will come to my head, and I'll come to Brand and say, I've got this hook in my head, and I can't get it out, you know, and then we just lay it out.
So what is your main muse? Where does your subject matter? Where does your music come from? What do you write from? What is your inspiration for writing?
For us, I think it's just not only, you know, the love we have for each other, but the situations that we bring to one another. It's, you know, I'm having this problem in my life, and the other saying, well, let me help you with it. So a lot of the songs are about overcoming those problems with trust and with just having no energy to keep going.
Yeah.
So
Just normal, normal everyday stuff.
Problems in life, because nobody ever wrote a really good song about being happy.
And that's, you know, that's what we struggle with. I keep saying we need to write something happy, but those just aren't the things that move me to create something, you know,
Well, I was listening to the radio one time, and I forget who it was, but it was the band that did House of Broken Love back in the 80s. Forget who that was. And it was an interview, and he was like, they're talking about this song, and you know, because House of Broken Love is kind of a, you know, obviously not happy, but he was like, that's what people identify with. He said nobody wants to hear a song about it's a sunny day, the birds are singing, you know.
Sure.
People, like you said, identify with struggle, and that's what makes the best songs. So now, tell me a little bit about where you want to go with this. What is your plan, plan for the immediate future, 20 years from now, musically?
I think we have a couple plans. Obviously, our project itself, Diaz and Gevonovich, but we also have the ability to write in other genres really well. So there's an opportunity to write some material and perhaps sell it. So that's another avenue we're actually working on. We've got a pretty aggressive timeline for that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, let's just say it's a Sunday afternoon. Time for the list, Rusty. You can't see Rusty's over there behind the camera, but time for the list. Let's just say you're walking around the house on a Sunday afternoon. At my job, we have overtime, so I'd be working. But you're walking around the house. What are you most likely to be listening to on your wax cylinder, 78 Victrola, 33, 45, 8-track, cassette, CD, MP3 player, or otherwise music delivering device? In other words, what do you listen to now?
Really, it's a lot of our recordings that have been played over the house.
It really is.
It's, you know, let's
Constant
listen to what we did last night. There's not a moment, you know, we go to sleep, and the minute I get up, I hear my voice coming from a cell phone, or we just moved into a new house together, and there's an intercom system throughout the house
Yes.
that we just
Yes.
got figured out.
Nice.
It's
So
cool.
the-
It's
so-
I
cool.
want one of those.
You
Yeah.
can plug in something and it'll play
All
in
over
the
the
living
house.
room, in the back, in the studio, in the music
Wow.
room,
Yes.
even outside.
Dude, that's awesome.
So
Yeah.
really, that's what's been playing.
And
But-
the whole reason for this house, that's a neat story too, is that it's got this back room that's enclosed. It has a bar in it, and we call it the red room.
Wow.
So everything in there is red.
An
and
aquarium, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's got an aquarium built into the wall, and the landscaping. There are French doors that open out. The landscaping is absolutely gorgeous,
Wow.
very secluded. So it's the perfect, place to write and just be creative. Have your friends over, record whatever you want to do.
I'm kind of mad that I didn't buy this house.
You can come over anytime.
Where is it? I have to get that one.
Okay.
Now, tell me a little bit about your recording project. You touched on it. You told the name, but the person that you were recording with?
JT Smith.
Yeah, JT Smith.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your relationship with him and how you came to know him.
So I really met him through work, through Synovus, and he is an amazing guitar player. I think he majored in music. He's in IT now, but he really just came to me and said, I've been listening to your recordings. I've heard some of the stuff that you and Brandon are doing, and I'd like to sit down and talk with you. And we really started picking his brain because he has a lot of experience playing in the past and touring with different bands.
Nice.
And he's got a lot of equipment and a lot of connections. So we just started talking about, hey, what can we do together? And as far as your project and putting other songs out there. So it's a really good partnership.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of another partnership, let's check out some more of Diaz and Gevonovich, and we'll be right back after this.
We are Diaz and Gevonovich, and this next song is Wounds. It's actually the first song Brandon and I wrote together, and it's really talking about getting past previous trials and tribulations and moving forward.
I have walked into another world. I wanna be wherever you are. I love you, I need you, I love you, let me see you. I trust you even through the woods. Touch my face, make me feel your embrace. Take my hand, you touch my soul. Take my hand, make it whole.
How you walk to find another day where sin and sorrow melt away. Oh, I love you, I need you, I love you, let me see you. I trust you even through the wounds.
Touch my face, make me feel your embrace. Take
Hello and welcome back to this edition of Minstrels on the Block with special guests Diaz and Gevonovich. I finally said that smoothly. Speaking of Diaz and Gevonovich, so tell me a little bit about your performances. Where are you playing? What you got going on?
We just played in Sonoya, Georgia at Zach Brown's venue,
nice.
which was a blast.
Yeah.
They do open mics every Tuesday in a 6-week competition series. We just participated in that, and the people there are fantastic. Our next stop out of town is Eddie's Attic in Atlanta, and we're really looking forward to that. Other than that, we play in town, but it's still pretty new. We're actually playing Harley Davidson almost every Saturday, so we'll be there tomorrow.
That's cool.
And then, next Saturday we are in Apalachicola. We're St. George Island, Florida. We're playing there too.
Nice travel. Now, do you play as a duo or do you have backing players? How's that go?
Right now, it's just the two of us acoustically. We've really been focusing on the writing, and now that we have this material put together, we are looking for musicians to play with us. We've talked about J.T. Smith, and he plays guitar with us sometimes.
Very cool.
But, percussionists, bassists, we are looking for those. Cool. And we are going to put a Diaz and Gevonovich band of sorts together, definitely.
Cool. Well, now that leads us straight into the pimping section. So since you're looking for people to play, now let's pimp everything that you got. Shameless self-promotion is what we're all about in this section. So what do you have? Well, we can start with that. What do you have that you want everybody to know about? Now, obviously, places where people can find you and find your music. Let's get it all into one little box where everybody can see it all conveniently together. You're looking for players, so tell us a little bit about what you have. What do you have to advertise, your websites, and what you need?
Well, diazandgevonovich.com is up, and from there you can link to the Reverb, where you can download a few of the tracks for free that we have done. Cool. As well as on our YouTube channel, you'll see all of the originals we have just kind of performed in our home. I think people can get a taste or an idea of where it will go with those musicians. Facebook, we're on Facebook, Twitter, all of which we're up to date. We're on there every day. Every couple minutes we're either talking to people or tracking statistics.
Okay, yes, I do. I do track stats.
But absolutely, all of the websites are up and you can find the material there.
Cool, so if you are a person who really likes music, you can find them and listen to their songs. If you are somebody who really likes music from a player aspect and you would like to back them, you can hear what they got and you can contact them, and I'm sure they'll give you an audition. So now, moving on past the promotional section, there's a couple of questions I'd like to ask. Sure. One is, as musicians, what do you think of the local music scene in the Valley area? What's your take on it?
It's very different than what I was used to. I think there are some really talented musicians here. I've struggled to kind of meet up with them and find a forum in which to do so. So I'm thankful for this show and for the opportunity to meet you both, because I think you're very well connected. But I have not had an opportunity to meet several, other than the ones that are playing, in the bar scenes and the cover bands and that sort of thing. So.
Now, Brandon?
Well, like we mentioned before, we really got together to just throw some ideas around about how to connect everyone, because there seems to be, a sense of competition is good, I feel, but there is a competition to a point where there is no support anymore between a lot of us, and I don't think that's necessary. I think that a lot should be done to really bring all of the local talent together.
Which goes smoothly into my next question. How do you think it can be improved? Now, obviously, you're working on it, but how do you think it can be improved?
Well, and that's what we talked about when we first started meeting up over coffee was, how do we really catapult this town? There's a lot of talent here, and how do we put it on the map? Yeah. how do we draw these people out? What's the strategy here? And then we got kind of sidetracked. But, I think just setting the bar, setting an example, and just people are doing it. More and more people are writing originals and getting out there and playing. I think it's very heavy with cover bands is what I've noticed. So the originals, there's a couple venues, and then open mic nights. So
now you mentioned a while ago that this is very different from what you were used to. Were you what you are used to? Was there more original music in those?
All original.
All original.
All original. It was the clubs in downtown Philly. I mean, it was very original, very energetic.
How do you think? Now, the Valley area is, let's just say, cover music is popular in this area. So how do you propose that it could be changed so that people are more accepting of original music?
I think it needs to be a gradual transition. So you do covers and then you throw in your originals, but you really need to have your originals well thought out. They need to be catchy. They need to be something people still want to dance to or listen to. And then, in my mind, that's the progression. Okay. So you would just kind of mix it up and then hopefully go all original.
And really, we've had a lot of great feedback. There's a up and coming band there called the Alchemy Effect, and Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb has been great, and it's just one example of the kind of relationships that we love to build.
Yeah.
He's always on our page saying, that was a great video, that was an amazing, I love this part of this song. And it's about getting behind each other and saying, your original stuff is really good.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different genre, but his motivation and his complete determination is so impressive.
Yeah.
It's contagious.
Now, the last question of the show is, and this goes towards like future members of our musical family that are still sitting on their couch at home. What advice would you give to aspiring artists watching the show? Because there are people out there that are writing or they're learning songs. They're sitting there, but they haven't come out for whatever reason.
Sure.
And not just musicians, artists, people who do anything. What advice would you give as experienced musicians and singers? What advice would you give to aspiring artists?
I think the biggest change in this industry, as well as many others, has been just how popular things like Facebook and all of that have become. You don't have to go out and get in front of those people to share what you love to do. That's what we've done. We've focused on making videos and putting them out for everyone to see. And with things like YouTube and the people that are just blowing up overnight on YouTube, it's really shows it's going a long way. So my advice is just work on what you love and maybe put it out there for people to see online, get some feedback, do it anonymously if that's what you feel you need to do. But the community is there and the support is there. So I think it's all well received. You just have to do it.
I'm going to take that a step further too, and just say, there are so many talented musicians, and you can sit in your room and you can create all day long, but picking up the phone and making those relationships with folks that can collaborate with you and you can help each other, that's key. That's really key, is building those relationships. Hey, you're a producer, you're a great guitar player. Hey, do you know an entertainment attorney?
Yeah.
Do you have a connection with a management company in Atlanta? I mean, you would be surprised at a quick meeting or a quick phone call what can come of that.
Right.
That's what we've found.
Definitely.
Very cool information from two experienced singers. Brandon, appreciate you being on the show. Heather?
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Hope you've enjoyed this edition of Minstrels on the Block with Brandon Diaz and Heather Gevonovich. I'm your host, Brian Mallard, and we'll see you next time only on CTV EA.
We are Diaz and Gevonovich, and this next song is called Turn Off the Lights. This song is about really knowing someone from the inside despite their physical appearances and attributes.
pretending to be what they see.
Let 'em go, let 'em down slow, let 'em see the you that we know.
It's all come to an ending, yeah, now it's just me.
I know you're cold, but you're not alone. I'm here to hold you up. Oh, turn off the lights. Let me look at you. Let me see everything that you hold. Turn off the lights. Let me see you. I can't promise you'll never be alone. Watch the hour hand a-turning, but I don't see time to get awake. It's better every day. Don't give it up, don't give it away.
Memories never made, 'cause they all just slip by.
It's not a loss, we can make them now. I can see the end and we'll get there somehow.
Now I realize the pain you feel, I see it in your eyes. Yeah, don't give up, it's not too late. I'm gonna make it alright. Turn off the lights. Let me look at you. Let me see everything that you hold. Turn off the lights. Let me see you. I can't promise you'll never be alone. Turn off the lights. Let me look at you. Let me see everything that you hold. Turn off the lights. Let me see you. I can't promise you'll never be alone. Turn off the lights. Let me look at you. Let me see everything that